Hi everybody, how is everybody doing today? So I'm coming on to do a bit of a project share, and like always you won't see this until my swap partner receives it. I've been making it for the swap group, which is our little group that we've got on Facebook, and it's called Country Creational Swaps. And part of our month this month we had 3 themes we could pick from. We had diamonds and pearls, upcycling something and changing it into diamonds and pearls. We had a pot or a basket filled with all Halloween embellishments, and you had to make the pot all Halloween themed, or a traveller's notebook. Those were the 3 themes. The colour sets were all in white, ice cream colours, which you had your pastels in, and we did have fire, which had like oranges and burnt oranges and stuff like that, Halloween sort of colours I would call them. And I also said that because we had Halloween as a theme to choose from, I also said we could use black. So my swap partner, I had 2, and you'll probably, I don't know which one will go up first, but there is 2. There's I made a Halloween box filled with all stuff that you'll see, and my other swap partner was the lovely Dee. Now I have permission to call her Dee. Her proper name is Deanna. And I was so super excited to have her as a swap. This is her first time swapping with anyone, and yeah, I'm really excited. I was so excited, thrilled to have for her to be my swap partner. So what you're looking at now is a card I had made her. I am going to zoom in only because you'll see the full effect. Now what I've done on this card, this is the graphic 45 paper pad. I can't remember the actual paper pads, I'll have to get it out of my box in a second. These are new flowers that I've purchased from Country Baskets. These flowers I had from a cake stall in the market, and I thought, oh, how cute are they? And then I used some music note sheets to punch out some butterflies. And basically what you do, let's see if I've got a piece that I have. Woo! So what you do is layer them. You grab a music notes. I'm just going to punch out 2 to give you an idea. There's your 2. You would glue the first one down, and then you would glue the second one on top, but sort of at an angle, so it looks, to give you that 2D look basically. And then I use some Nuvu crystal drops to go around the edges. So there's the little white dots. Now, yeah, you can just about see them. Here, look, see them, and they go all the way around the card. And I also did it on the, I can lift this up a minute. I also did it on the inspiration. I put a dot either side of that. So yeah, super excited. And I absolutely love how the card turned out, but that's not what my swap was about. So there's the card, and obviously I've written a little message inside, but I wanted to quickly show you how I did the butterflies. So like I say, I went like I said, I told you what the themes were. So for this swap, I decided to make a traveller's notebook. I've loved making it that much that I want to make one myself, and I'm so finding it really hard to let this one go. Out of everything I've ever made, I think this has to be one of the favourite things I've ever made, that and the shoe that I made for Shaz. But I'm finding it so hard to let it go. But no, it's got to go to my swap partner. I'll be making one for myself soon. So first off, I've been working with ribbons, and I've got my book out. It's ribbon embroidery, and I decided to use my ribbons to create flowers instead of making them to place on. I decided to use ribbon to make flowers. So these flowers, these 2 ones, are made with like a cobweb effect, and I'm going to show you. It's not something, like I say, I learned how to do that in my book, and I learned how the leaves, I didn't learn how to do that. All I did with the leaves, because of where the doily is placed, I sort of looped the ribbon over it to create two leaves that are peekering out. And I literally have done this in all the colour sets. So those two ribbons, those two roses I should say, I got, what was I going to say? Someone taught me how to do it, and that someone is the lovely Amanda. So hi Amanda, my darling. She lives very close to me, and literally a couple of the next village, and we meet up every week, and she showed me how to do these, and I haven't stopped making them since. And she said, Claire, you've got to show everybody how to do them on YouTube. So I'm definitely going to do it. You learn something new every day. I don't think, I think with crafting, if you don't learn, then you become stuck in what you're doing. So it has definitely inspired me. This inspired me that much that I went on to create these. So I will show you guys how I've done these. The doily that you see, all this doily, this came out of a pack that I bought from the lovely Shilpa. Hi Shilpa. And then I just put a couple of like appliques, I call them little scrap appliques, because they've either come off something, or they've come on for trim, and I've cut them down. That one itself I cut down. I don't know whether the light is too bright. Wait a second. That's better. That one I actually cut down, and then this pink one is this, and it's a all-in-one trim, and I literally just cut it because I wanted just two on there, and like I say, these are just cut down off a little big long trim. So that's what that is. This trim, I will explain where I've got my new trims from, but this trim is a trim I bought from Country Baskets. You've probably seen the video of what I bought. I do all this in one day, so videos, yeah. I'm doing all my trying to do all my videos in one day. But you've probably seen a video of me showing you how much I paid for this, but it is an actual wired ribbon. So I took the wire out, and I've sewed it, wrapped it around, and I've sewed it in, and then it's held on with a bit of Velcro that I've actually sewed in and used my machine for as well. So yeah, so Dee can, as the book gets full, she can close it like that, and that allows the book to come open a little bit more, or if she wanted to keep it tight, she could. So that's the front. I also did some ribbon work in the actual, this is part of the doily, so I also did some ribbon work on the actual doily itself with some peach ribbon. I just went in and out and weaved in and out until I got the look I wanted, and then sewed it at the back. So this, before I go on any further, no, I did, so the papers I've used in this book are Septmeber papers, and it's called Old Lace. I found it really difficult actually to get hold of this paper pad, but I managed to get hold of it on a website. I keep meaning to look to share with you guys where I got the website from, and if I haven't told you in a video, then I'm hoping to put it on the bottom of the description bar, but if I can't find it, it won't be there. But all I did was I went into Google. This is how I found it. Went into Google, and you know, in Google you've got images, oh, I can't think, images search, Pinterest, shopping and all that. It's on the top bar. Click in Old Lace Septmeber and go into shopping, and then it'll bring up where that paper pad is and for how much and where to go to, and that's how I found it. And like I said, it was on a website, it was on a crafting website that I'd never heard about before. So yeah, that's where I found this. So all the papers I've used in this book are from that paper pad book. So I'm going to move this card out of the way and I'm going to begin. Right, so the first thing you'll see, like I said, is corsets in there. I want a little bit of me to go in this book. The first thing I want to point out to you is this. It looks like a doily, but it's not. It is this. And it's absolutely stunning, and I recently purchased it from a quilting and sewing crafting fate, if this makes any sort of sense to you. And a meter was £10 and half a meter was £5. And this is made in Italy. It's absolutely beautiful to feel, and it's absolutely stunning. And so I want to use a little bit because I'm, you know, when you buy things, you become attached to it. So I've almost become attached to these beautiful trim. That's the only way to describe it. And I was in the fete, and like I said, you heard me tell you this story in another video, but I was in the fete, and a woman, you got to imagine that the table was it must have been like the length of a house. That's how big the table was, and it was like rolls and rolls and rolls and rolls of fabric. And I saw this one, and I also saw this one. It was tucked under everything, and a woman said to me, "Why are you buying that when you can buy all the pretty ribbons and laces?" I said, "Because there's a lot that you can do with it." And she went, "Yeah, but it's all like cobwebby." That's the way she described it. And I said, "Well, no, not really." I said, "Because if you look at it, you can, there's your flower." And then I pointed out. It was hectic and so busy, but I took the time to point out to her what I could see. Like, I could see leaves and I could see flowers, and even what she was describing as cobwebby, I said even like these pieces you could keep. Like, what I mean is you could keep them put on cards or tags. I'm using the wrong scissors, bear with me. You could keep put on tags or cards or anything like that. So you could keep those bits that, you know, if I was making a card and I wanted to tuck it underneath, then I would keep it and use it like that. So what she was describing as cobwebby wasn't cobwebby to me, if that makes any sort of sense. So yeah, half a meter was £5, and I've used a small section in this book because it's so special. And like I said, I truly enjoyed making this book. So this book is, in the middle of it, is held together with some elastic. There's actually 2 pieces of elastic, because what I thought when I was making it was, even though I've got a book inside, Dee can add another book if she so required. So I've made it so she can add to it. So like I said, all the papers have come from Stampera Old Lace, and all the laces I've used in this book are all vintage laces. I had to buy like little packs from Etsy, and they're £5, and in these packs you have proper vintage laces. So I've got to buy more packs, but all the laces like you see like this, I've sewed in this because what I thought was she could cut it down and then use it as tabs, or she could just leave it as it is, or sew it and she'd have a pocket. So most of the laces in this book are vintage laces. This lace here, however, is nice. One of my newest trims I bought off the lovely Shilpa. So hi Shilpa. I've used my Distress Oxides to create the colours on the pages, and if I turn my book like so, you'll see I've written the word memories, and on this little bulldog clip, sorry, it says stay classy. And what you could do with these, which I need to find a pencil, is you can put, no wait, I need a pencil. Let me do it with a paintbrush. You can put a pen or a pencil in there because it'll hold it. I haven't got a pencil or a pen to be able to show you, but that's what you can put in there. So that's what I've put on the edge there. Now, with a notebook, when I was doing my research, I found that even though you've got pages in there that are decorated, not every single page is decorated. So in this book, I've gone with that. I've done a few pages where I haven't done nothing to. Now, all the pages are inked with walnut stain, Distress Oxides. And like I say, some of them are just completely plain. I have stamped on a few as well. So this one says postcard. This beautiful stamp I borrowed from Club. It's absolutely stunning. It's truly gorgeous. So she can write over it or do what she wants. Like I say, some of these pages are completely plain. So you come to this page. And again, all these, I've created like little tabs. So as you can see in the edge of the book, all these little tabs I've created are all vintage laces. So this tab here is a little bit longer. And I've created little tuck spots. So there's a tuck spot here. And there's also a tuck spot just behind the corset there as well. So I thought she could either write on it or she could keep little things in. Because either way, that's what they're for. So I've left these pages plain. You can see the stitches through some of the pages too, which I thought, because I was going down the more vintagey, I had it in my head that if it went round the world 100 times or more, what state would it come back in? And that's what I kept thinking in my mind. So I thought, well, if I had sewn that and I was on my travels, then I wouldn't be bothered about the stitches. So I wasn't bothered by that at all. I did use some stamps on this page. Again, these stamps I had borrowed from Club, and they've got a little swan in. They're so cute. And I love the fact the ink had smudged when I was doing it as well, because I thought that brought it to life. So in this one, it actually appears out. Now I was going to put something here, but I thought no, because with a junk journal you fill every page up and all your text spots you completed, so that with everything that they open it's already theirs. But I wanted to leave, with a traveler's notebook, I wanted to leave as much as I could leave plain or undone, so that she could add to it to herself, because that's the point of a traveler's notebook, is that whoever you're gifting it to, is that they're able to write in it or add things to it. And this is what I've done with here. So I haven't attached anything for it to stay, and I've used the old lace and I actually ripped it and then edged it with ink. And then if I open it this way, I used a corset. All these music note papers, but all these laces you see under the corset, they are just normal papers that were normal laces that were in my little scrap heap. And then I made a little tuck spot here. So there's two like little tuck spots just hiding behind the corset there. So this is that page completed. Again, I left as much as I could. Now with this page, I did go a little bit crazy. It did start off pink and I think I went peach, because that was the closest thing to white as I got. But then I thought it was too bright, so I darkened it down a little bit. And on this page, there are dried bluebells that I stuck. And they've actually, when I pick the bluebells, I don't actually pick them off the flower. They're the bluebells that I pick up off the floor afterwards. Every spring we have bluebells grow outside our living room window. Without fail, there's like a field full of them. We're the only person in the street, actually the estate, that's got the bluebells. And I love watching them and I love keeping them when they're falling on the floor. So I've put some dried bluebells just along here and there. And then I made this up. So this one was a receipt I'd recently bought junk journaling papers, and there was like, I'd bought it off Etsy, and there was like loads of different bits and pieces in there. So this was the receipt, so I just cut it down and just made the perfect background. And then these bus tickets I had off the lovely Marlu. Hi Marlu. And they're vintage bus tickets, and each bus ticket, I thought they were all the same, but they're not. Each bus ticket has got different numbers right on the end. So this one says 36. So if you remember 36, because you will see them in the book. So we're in the middle of the book. Again, I was going to fill this up full of, you know, with something. It's a little envelope. I was going to put something in there, but then I thought no, because she's going to be adding and writing to this, so she'll need. I tried, like I said, I tried to leave as much as I could leave plain, if that makes any sort of sense. So I haven't filled this up, but this is decorated in vintage lace, and I've used the corset tags that are in the book, but I've halved it to create that look on the bottom. So this is this page, and this is done with 2 elastics. Like I said, this is the middle of the book. It is a bit loose, and the only reason I haven't done it tight is because the more she adds to this, the more full it's going to get. And there's 2 elastics because 2 books will easily fit in there. Now if I take this out, since we're in the middle of the book, and I just use 1 elastic, it'll go a bit tighter. I'll show you what I mean when we get to the end. So there's 1. See how she's got the other one here? So I left it as that. Vintage lace again that I've just sewed in. I can't remember where I got this from. I think it was just in my stash. I really can't remember where I got that from, but papers from the Stamp Hero papers. I've stamped it with the old-fashioned writing stamp. Now you'll see stitch edging, and the only reason you'll see it on this side is because when I stitched this lace in, I stitched it here to begin with. You can see the hole. You can see the holes, and I'd actually stitched all the pages together. So I had to unpick and stitch it in the middle. So on this side of the book you've got the stitch markings, but again I like the idea of that, and I didn't cover it up because I like the idea of having the book having mistakes in, and the book developing as she's going to write in it. So if I pull this out, she's got all this to write in, whereas the other one has got corsets and stuff on. Again, I've left this as plain as possible. So if I open this again, vintage lace here, and I've used a corset. There is no tuck spot on this side. I've just stuck that down. Plain pages. Use the same lace right at the very beginning of the book. Plain pages. Then we come to more or less the back of the book. Now, remember I said the bit of the vintage bus ticket was 36. Well, this one says 34. And I've used this as a trim I've got off Shilpa recently. Vintage lace. These are all like vintage laces on the end. And then this is a little tuck spot. This is like a little pocket I made with little tags in. They're just plain tags, nothing sort of to shout about. They're just literally plain tags, which I thought was quite cute to go in there. And then again I sewed some vintage lace on the other end. So when you look at the book, you've got like loads of different tabs, and this is why there's that bigger piece right at the beginning, because I thought she could cut it up and make her own tabs. So with the same stamp I used right at the beginning with the postcard, I actually did it here as well. It didn't come out as clear, but like I say, I like the idea of it having mistakes in and evolving, because I just love the idea. Now with this one, I kind of went round with all my laces and papers before I stuck this paper on, because I wanted these 2 pages to be almost similar but not quite. Does that make sense? Like I say, they're all tucked in and they're just beautiful. Another like little tab the same stamp again on that side, and then we come to the back of the book, and there's that's the book. And then I've made a pocket here as well. So like I said, I've put 2 elastics in case you want to put 2 books in. So it's there if she wants to put 2 books in, the option is there for her. And I did that on purpose. I haven't done that intentional. Yes, the elastic could have been a little bit tighter, but I thought as the book is evolving and growing, and you're putting more things in it, you're gonna find that you'll need that bit of leeway, especially if you're putting things in. You'll find that it needs to have that bit of leeway, because more you add to the book and the pockets, the fuller it's going to get, which is why, like I say, I've given that a little bit of leeway, and it's not as tight as I've made it to be. So when I close the book, like I say, this is a little pocket. When I close the book, you've just got the back of that doily and that beautiful trim that I've made my clasp with. So that is my swap to the lovely D, and I cannot wait for her to receive this. Like I said, this has been one of my swaps that I've just truly fallen in love with making, and I don't know, I'm going to be making one for myself because I loved every second of making this book, and I just hope she loves it as much as I loved making it for her. So I'm going to go and love and leave you all, and I will catch up with you all in my next video, or one of my Friday's lives, and I will catch up with you then. Have a lovely rest of the week, and I will see you then. Bye for now.